Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. Hey, it's Thanksgiving week. What a wonderful opportunity for us to keep on the forefront of our minds and our hearts everything that we're grateful for and what we're grateful to welcome into our lives. It's a wonderful week. We've got a wonderful service. Dr. Joe has some, as usual, awesome words and inspiration for us to chew on and metabolize as we move through the week. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to continue to be in community together. And we have a couple of other opportunities as well. On Wednesday, the Fabulous Five will be performing, offering us a Thanksgiving service, which is sure to be magnificent, that will be re-aired on Thursday morning as well. So you can either catch it on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, Thanksgiving service that will continue to sustain us throughout the week. So sit back, buckle up, actually unbuckle up, get out of your seat, get ready for a wonderful Sunday before Thanksgiving.
So, Centers for Spiritual Living, this is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving 2020. What a year. What a year to look back on and say, what am I really grateful for? And what a year to look back and go, what have I been less than grateful for? I mean, think about this. This whole year, the majority of this year has been spent in a situation with this world pandemic that we've been sort of closed in and separate from each other and relying on ourselves more than we've ever had to before. Our own initiative, our own wherewithal to get things done. And we need to be grateful for that type of energy. But I also want to take a different approach because 2020 has really had an opportunity for us to see and experience places where we're not grateful. And I want to kind of point those out to us today so that when we look at this and we look at Thanksgiving coming up, we can, do so feeling cleansed of all that ingratitude because it was easy to be resentful and upset about what's happened this year. Or we can actually move into Thanksgiving saying, thank you for letting me release the things that I've been holding over my head and move into something greater. So it's a 3-step process that I want to share with you today. The first one is this. Step 1, you can't be peaceful if you're not thankful. Step number 2, you can't be in unity if you're not thankful. The last one, you can't be who you're supposed to be if you're not being thankful. So let's break those down. Step number 1, you can't be peaceful if you're not thankful. Peace and ingratitude cannot coexist together. It's very hard to be peaceful and ungrateful at the same time. They can't even hang out together. So when you're not that when you're not feeling peaceful, there's probably some level of ingratitude that is existing in your consciousness. Because the two of those things can't coexist. When I am peaceful, when I have peace of mind, I am grateful for all the things that are working for me. And in many prayers, you've heard me say, I'm so grateful for the things I have and so grateful for the things that I don't have. But either way, I'm showing gratitude. I'm displaying gratitude. I'm feeling a sense of gratitude around all of those things, the things I'm thankful for and the things that I don't have in my life. I'm grateful that I have not experienced certain things in my life. I'm grateful for that. I'm also very grateful for the things that I have experienced. So peace and ingratitude, they cannot coexist together. They do not make good partners. Next part, what keeps us from being peaceful? Let me ask you this. There's something that keeps you from feeling peace. I would say this, name one benefit that you receive from being ungrateful. Let's look at it a different way. I wanted to look at Thanksgiving a different way. Whereas, name one thing in your life. Think about one thing that works for me because I'm not grateful. I don't think you can find it. I don't think you can actually say, I have a benefit from not showing gratitude in this area of my life. I don't think you can show me or I can demonstrate to you an area that I'm not grateful for that keeps expanding my good. They can't coexist. Gratitude grows everything. Gratitude in my relationships, gratitude in my finances, gratitude in my work and my creativity, gratitude in my health. If I'm not grateful for those things begin to break down. They begin to disappear. And as soon as that happens, When I watch things that I like exit, I have to ask myself, how do I now express gratitude for the things that I do have, that I am experiencing, that I enjoy? Am I doing that? I always give the same example. I know I'm probably getting old and repeating the same stories, but you don't even know that your little toe exists until you hit the base of your bed. And then you know that that toe is there. Other than that, you just keep using it. You don't think a thing about it. It changes nothing. Now, when you do hit the base of your bed and you stub your toe on that, and you know what that feels like, and you're like, oh, and then you try to put your sock on and you're reminded, and then you try to put your shoe on, and then you try to walk, and then you change shoes, and finally you're walking around, wearing flip-flops because it's the only thing that feels good. You know what it's like. But do you know that when we give great thanks for things, they show up and they continue to function? So when's the last time you gave a good, great Thanksgiving to your toe? Think about it. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. When is the last time that I've been grateful for the things, even the smallest things in my life? Do I recognize them, or do I take them for granted? In fact, am I even not showing gratitude at all because of my attitude about it? I don't even pay attention to it. I'm oblivious to it. So I want us to think about how we can engage in gratitude and literally start going through the list. Now, I know sometimes, and I know this because it happens to me, when I'm feeling down, people say to me, oh, but you have so much to be grateful for. And you want to say, get the hell out. Because you know this, we know this, but no one wants to hear that when they're in pain. No one wants to embody that idea when they're struggling with something. Now, it would benefit them to do it, and we know this. I know that. I know that when I'm feeling down and out about something, if I turn to gratitude, I can change the energy around it. I know that up here, but sometimes right here, I'm not ready to play the gratitude game. I want to sit in whatever this is and experience it, and I'm choosing to do that. And nothing's going to shove me out of that. So when that happens, just understand, and that happens to me, that I'm making a conscious choice to stay in that space where I'm not being grateful. And nothing's going to change until I change it. All right? Next thing, if you're not peaceful, it's the divine urge calling you to realign. So when you're not feeling peace, it's actually the universe calling you to align yourself with the goodness of the universe, our divine birthright of the universe. Sometimes we forget that. We think pain is an effect of itself and that we can't see it as a calling to good. But I would say this, wherever you're experiencing pain or you're not peaceful in your life, I want you to think about, how is this calling me into alignment with an energy that can create more good in my life? Because we know what not peaceful looks like. So that divine urge is using that emotion for us to recognize, to trigger us into a state of gratitude, to trigger us into a state of realigning with that presence. Okay, second step. You can't be in unity if you're not being thankful. The opposite of unity is separation. So it's hard to be unified with this creative energy. It's hard to be unified with people. It's hard to be unified with your financial situation if you're not being grateful because you think you're separate from it. There is no separation between anything. It is all one. You know that song we sing, we are one. Everyone is one. We are all one thing. We're all one thing expressing. We are that infinite intelligence working throughout this universe. And if that's the case, when I unify with that and not find myself distancing from that, when I'm grateful to be in the energy of things, that energy begins to show reasons to be more grateful. I hope that makes sense. All right? You can't be in unity if you're not being thankful. The opposite of unity is separation. So if you're not feeling at ease and peaceful, you have to look at, where have I made a choice to separate myself and operate in that place, in that other energy. And it's always my choice. It is always my choice. The reason it's always my choice is because I was always there when things happened. I always signed up for everything that happened in my life. And then things happen when I sign up for things that I don't expect. And then I want to blame it on the things that I don't expect. But really, at the end of the day, I'm the one who signed up for this. And so I need to be grateful for the wisdom to see that, and then the knowledge and the wherewithal and the techniques to move into that different space of energy and gratitude. So you can choose whether you want to be unified or you can choose to be separate and apart from. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It exists in an energy of separation. It's all one energy. You know, I've always shown you that little energy track that runs through the center. It's all one energy. It's just where you choose to hook up on that energy line. And we can actually use it to be together or separate from ourselves. And now, here's the challenge, because this is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. You are going to sit down, maybe, or Zoom people with a Thanksgiving meal. And don't you think there's going to be some hot topics around that this year? In fact, I don't think I've ever sat down with anyone this year where there are not hot topics everywhere. Now, you're going to make a choice, a conscious choice, to either be a part of a unifying energy or part of a distracted, distant energy. You get to make that choice is how you approach that. You get to make that choice. Next thing, focus either lies in what the universe has done and what it's doing for us, or that focus lies on what the universe has failed to provide for us. So sometimes we have two ways of looking at things. Our focus either lies in what the universe is doing or has done, or it's looking at what the universe has failed to provide. Okay? So when I look at what I feel the universe has failed to provide, I have to ask myself, how was I involved in that process of A, labeling it a failure, B, how would I create the energy where it's not manifesting in my life? Where do I have a subconscious pattern that's bringing that idea down and not allowing it to manifest? Where am I talking one thing and doing another? I have to ask myself those questions. And gratitude answers a lot of those questions. Because if I'm not grateful, in fact, here's the deal. Oh, I hate this. We have to be grateful for the process. No, I like the end result. Okay, I'm taking a cooking class. This is just like a cooking class. And after I've had several sessions in the cooking class, now I enjoy the process of cooking. But I rather enjoy the process of eating more than the process of cooking, right? It's not my creative energy that really, drove that whole thing. No, it's the fact that, we were locked in. I needed something good to eat and I wanted to make it, right? So the key was this. Now I enjoy the process. Now it's fun. In fact, I actually invite people over to watch the process. It's like watching Laurel and Hardy make dinner. And it's fun, and they have to be quiet and watch it. And I'll tell you a little side story. So I invited Reverend William and Elizabeth over one time to take part in the creation of this. In fact, I think that Elizabeth actually took a video of it and she hasn't posted it, thank God. But William kept trying to help. He's like, no, let me help you. No, let me help you. And Elizabeth's like, stop. So I kept saying, but he enjoys the process. Whereas I was looking at the process as a chore. So being grateful in the process, not just for what the end result is, but for the process of becoming whatever that is. I want us to be grateful for the process of becoming. So wherever you are in your life today, wherever you are, I want you to look and say, I'm going to focus on gratitude in the process of becoming what is next. Take that with you. Next thing, baby, there is this harsh reality. If we're not thankful and grateful, Kennedy Schultz said this, if you're not thankful and grateful, you're foolish. You're foolish. Not only are we foolish, we are intentionally choosing darkness over light. And that's what he said. He said, only a fool chooses to be in the darkness. And I have to go, God, that's so harsh. God, that's so harsh. It feels harsh to me. But I also see the wisdom in that. When I'm not grateful for something, it goes away. And I can't blame anyone but myself. And that's just kind of being foolish. Because when you know that you know that you know and you don't do anything about it, then you're complicit. You are part of the problem. Then you've allowed this to happen. So think about that. If you're not thankful, we're kind of foolish. Not kinda. Kennedy Schultz, you're foolish. And not only are you foolish, but you're intentionally choosing to stay in darkness, and that's not going to allow you to move into any capacity of light. Now, all you need to do to look at our blessings is to drive along the freeways of Los Angeles. And you're going to be really blessed that you live out here in the Coachella Valley, especially during rush hour. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful for all of these things. Next thing, the universe didn't give all we have solely for our own benefit. The universe didn't give us all these gifts and these things in our life just for us. We are universal renters. Think about that concept. We are universal renters. I take nothing with me. We take nothing with us when we leave this planet. We take our memories and whatever that transitions into. But we're borrowing everything here. And you know what? And not only that, if you look at everyone as a universal renter, it's the great equalizer. Because we all have access to all things. So I'm engaging in this process of using what the universe has just the way you are. And the question is, am I using it to my liking? And are you using it to your liking? Or am I misusing it? Am I abusing my rental privileges? Think about that. Everything is temporary. And now sometimes we don't want to think about that because when we hear that, we go, oh, that's just not making me feel better. It's not going to make you feel better. I'm not there it's there to bring an awareness about how temporary things are and how nothing is forever. It's just for now. It's just for now, and you're working through it. Give yourself a break. The process, be grateful in the process, and know that everything in my life isn't just for me to benefit, it's also for me to share. Right? I'm the universal one. Third step, you can't be who you're supposed to be if you're not being thankful. Let's dig into that. Thank God in every situation doesn't mean that you thank God for the situation. It means you notice and still see the presence of God in every situation. Let's say that again. Thank God in every situation does not mean thank God for the situation. It means that you notice and still see the presence of God in everything. Okay. So how do I use that in my daily life? Thank God in every situation. I may not understand why things are the way they are, but that doesn't mean that some good isn't coming from this. So if I notice that, this is going to sound kind of, if I notice that God is in the illness, God is in the chaos, there can't be an absence of God anywhere. And if that's the case, then when I'm grateful for the process of moving through something, not owning it, then I can see where these things can be stepstones to something greater. But I have to acknowledge it as that. If not, if my whole focus and attention is on the things that are dysfunctional and not working, then I'm looking at a situation thinking it's not going to change. But if I see God in it, then there is always a possibility of changing. It's when I create a finality to it, my mind. God doesn't create finalities, but I do. I'm the one who shuts things down. And the universe will comply by shutting it down for me once I make that decision. So if I don't make the decision to shut down, then I keep my decision and possibilities open. It allows me to be thankful for a situation as I'm walking through it. So the great litmus test is this: give thanks in everything. In everything, give thanks. And we've heard this a gazillion times. But the greatest litmus test is, can I take situations where I'm not grateful and see this as a process and then allow myself to move from that ingratitude into gratitude, and then by empowering it with that energy, see it moving into something else? It's very easy to focus on what hasn't happened this year. I mean, I think that when people do sit down at any table or they Zoom each other for a Thanksgiving meal, I think when that happens, it's going to be a real different conversation this year. In our family, we have that practice. We would have a practice of going around the table and saying, what are you grateful for this year? And everybody would say something. And I can only imagine that this year, I've had some family members lose their jobs and had some family members really have medical situations and the COVID and all this stuff, right, happening. So I can imagine how the dialogue's going to change around the table. Now, it's going to be up to me to say, and how can we be grateful for that in the end? Now, I'm not there to give it. You're not at Thanksgiving dinner to teach people how to be metaphysicians. Let me be really clear. You're not there for that. But when you can see people rightly and see them as experiences unfolding, then you're not going to take on that energy of defeat or failure or be upset about it. You're going to see that there is God in that, and it is subject to change, and you will see it changing for them. All right? So in everything, and I do mean everything, give thanks. And so ends your lesson.
Are we blessed or what? What another extraordinary service in all the ways that we're blessed, with the meditation, with the sermon, with the prayers, with the music. What a great week leading into this Thanksgiving week to be grateful and to share out of that gratitude our financial good to help sustain and support this center. This is our time of offertory, where we offer and we receive. So briefly, join me in a moment of prayer as you consider your gift, your tithe, your offering. And know that in this heightened awareness of being grateful, of thanksgiving, that we amplify the power of our gift. And in sharing it, move powerfully into that great principle of circulation. As we give, we receive. As we receive, we give. So I know there's an extra special helping, an extra dose, a seconds on our good as we move into Thanksgiving week. Seconds on our financial good that is pressed down, blessed, and overflowing in our lives. I'm grateful for this moment, this sacred ritual. I call it good, and so it is. And so, as usual, you'll see all the many ways you can contribute to our center on the screen in front of you. Our hearts are swelling with gratitude as you continue to share your good with our center. Happy Thanksgiving. Much love. Thank you.
That was such a wonderful talk before Thanksgiving, a great reminder for all of us to be in that state of gratitude, how powerful gratitude is. So I'm going to do our closing prayer for today. So as I breathe in, I recognize that power that is within me, that is that one life. It is all God. It is all good. It is all that is creating this universe. So from this state of oneness, recognizing my oneness with Spirit, recognizing our oneness with Spirit, we are each an individual, unique expression of the divine. And at this time of Thanksgiving, it is so wonderful to recognize and to focus on and to contemplate the things that we have that are wonderful and that we are grateful for. And we know that from this state of gratitude, the universe says, they like this. Let's give them more. And so I know that the more gratitude that I put out into the universe, the more at peace I am, and the more that I see of the beauty of this thing called life. So not only at this time of Thanksgiving, but in each and every moment of our day, we focus on the gratitude, on that peace that is within us, knowing that that is the state that we want to remain in always. And so we release anything that does not serve us, that does not cause us that joy, that peace, and recognize that we are truly blessed in each moment. Every breath that we take, every person in our life, we give great thanks for. So I am so grateful knowing that this is the truth, so grateful for each person that celebrates with us each Sunday, every day at 2, and that supports this center financially and with their prayers and loving thoughts. Center for Spiritual Living Palm Desert is so grateful and so at peace because of your love. So I know that this is the truth. So I release my word into the law, knowing that it is good. It is very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Everyone have a fabulous Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week.